Hey everybody, welcome to Get Fit with me!
Yay!
Today we're going to be doing our top 15 tips for running.
Yep.
This will change your running game. If you hate running, if you've never liked it, these tips will change that for you, most likely because it's changed it for us.
I used to hate
Me too.
running.
Same.
And I have, through trial and error, figured out these things that are so important if you want to be a runner, but you've never been a runner and it's so difficult. That was me.
This is going to make all the difference because these are things that we've learned through our own experience.
It's almost like the secrets of the trade.
So, you guys are ready? Let's do this. Top 15 tips to running. Let's get into it.
Number one, for me, this was the most important thing, and I really would recommend it if you haven't done it already, or I would recommend it. Most people haven't done this and don't even know about this, and it's something called a MyZone. So it's a belt, a heart rate monitor, and the battery lasts for like 2 years, so I haven't even had to charge it except for once because I've had it for like 2 years. And then it will tell you if you are in the red zone, which is burning muscle, yellow zone, where you're burning fat, and the green zone where you're burning fat. This is super important because I always, when I would run, before I had the MyZone, I would be in the red the whole time. And I hated running because it legitimately hurt everywhere. When you get in the red and you're running or pushing your body too fast, expecting to be able to just do it like everybody else, just look at what they're doing and try to do that, it's not good because it will literally be eating away at your muscle because you're pushing your body too fast, too hard, too fast.
There's a companion app that goes with the MyZone that keeps track of what zones you've been in and for how long you were in them. So this is my workout that I did today. You can see that I started off in the gray when I first put on my MyZone. I was in the blue for a little while, but mostly spent my time in the green and yellow, which is really good place where you want to be for your heart rate, weight loss goals. Whenever I'm running, I have my MyZone on and I keep an eye on my MyZone app and it tells me where I'm at so I can make sure to keep track and so I don't hit the red and I can stay in the yellow as long as possible. Sometimes that means walking and that's okay.
And this is just super important. This made the very biggest difference for me because it went from full pain every time I ran to, oh, I'm in the red, I should slow down. And once I slowed down, I was like, I can see how I could do this for a long amount of time. Where before I was like, how do people do it? I do not understand it at all. Now I know, oh, they've just trained for long enough that they're probably in the green the whole time that they're running. And so their heart is able to keep up with it and their body's not eating away at their muscle.
The next one that I think is very important is taking time to stretch. If you don't stretch properly or enough, you're going to get really sore and probably even injure yourself. So let's look at a couple of really good stretches for running to prepare you for good exercise.
This is a good one. This is stretching the back of your legs. But one of the things that people don't realize that will hurt their legs the most is actually this side muscle. But some way to stretch it is by going like this. So you're stretching out this whole muscle right here. It's the one that goes into your butt and all along the side, and it's super important to stretch that. And then to do the exact same thing on the other side. Whatever you do on one side, always do on the other side, or else your body's not gonna like it and you'll hurt yourself. But I can feel it right here, super strong. And this is one that really gets tugged at a lot when you're running. And then another one that always feels good to me. I typically have to find something that's up like a little bit higher, like a countertop or something. But to put my foot up on it and let my knee go down as far as I can, it also stretches that exact same muscle and it feels good.
A few muscles that I always want to stretch out are these ones right here. And I get those really good by doing this. It really gets a good stretch in this.
Oh yeah.
I do that on both sides. And then sometimes if I'm feeling extra tight, I'll also stretch both right here really good too. by making a triangle with my legs. So I'm stretching my back like here and then all the way up here in the front, and I'll do that on both sides. That feels really good. Plus, I like to stretch up front here by doing this, and I hold that. It's good to just hold it. You're not trying to rush through stretches. Stretches need to be done slowly. Count to 10. Hold it for a long period of time. Don't just try to rush through the stretches, because this is going to be the key to you having a really good exercise and not getting injured.
And sometimes when I'm literally in the middle of running, I will start to feel one of my muscles tightening. So it typically is actually in like my ankle. Right here, all of a sudden, and like this muscle right here, it just starts tightening up really strong and tight fast. And I'm like in the middle of running. So I'm like, oh, I have to stop. And I do that. Like on the treadmill, sometimes I'll hop off and just be like, for like 10 seconds on each side. And then once I'm done with that, I can keep running. But it's super important to not keep running when you feel that pain or that stretch. Always, or that tightening, make sure to stretch it. The next one that is really, really helpful is foam rolling. Foam rolling helps so much. It's like giving yourself a quick, painful massage before you run or after you run, or when you're just really, really sore. Rolling out helps so, so much. So it's, I think, just as important as stretching before running. But this muscle on the side of your leg can get really sore when you run. And this is just as important as stretching. If you roll it out, and all your pressure from your body is what's really pushing into your muscles, and it can get kind of painful, but sometimes rolling it out when your muscles are sore will take away the soreness. Push on your muscles and kind of help, recover. Okay, and then if you get shin splints, this helps. I start to get really bad pain in my shins, which I think is the beginnings of shin splints. I put my knees right on my roller, slowly roll out my shins, and it feels so good. But if my shins are hurting ever when I run, once I do this, it stops hurting. Another thing you can do that is basically the same thing, but if you're way more sore and your body weight hurts too much to use the roller, which sometimes it can, a marathon stick is what you can get, and there's lots of different kinds, but I have a couple, and you literally just, like you're rolling out pizza dough or whatever, you just put some pressure into it and roll out specific places on your body. It helps a lot. Another tool to use is a round foam ball, and you can stick it underneath your hips or wherever's hurting, and it kind of pinpoints the pain more. And if this isn't quite getting enough pressure in one of the spots that you need to massage, then this works really well too.
It's very important when you're doing a lot of exercising or running to drink a lot of water. So it's recommended that you drink a gallon of water every single day. And that can be really difficult, but it's really important.
Whoa! The next one I want to talk about is L-glutamine. L-glutamine helps with sore muscles, and especially when you start running, it's going to be really sore because your body's just not used to that, and it hasn't had that conditioning that it needs. So as you're running, you're going to get sore, and the two biggest things that have really helped me, I guess three, are rolling out, which we already talked about, and drinking water, which we already talked about, making sure you get that as much as you can in a day. And there's more guidelines for that online if you need to know. So rolling out, drinking water, and taking L-glutamine in your water or juice or protein shake, which is what I like to do, putting my L-glutamine in there, because it really, really, really helps with sore muscles so much. So this is the glutamine powder that I use. So I guess it's L-glutamine or glutamine, but you can get this at Walmart, and it's so helpful. I love this stuff.
The next thing I want to talk about is shoes, running shoes. There's so many different types of shoes that people like. There are people that like barefoot running or the toe shoes for running. I really like these shoes. I think they're called no drop, which means that they're like flat all the way down. Some people have insoles that they use to help give support for arch support. You gotta really find what's right for you, and that's why I recommend actually going to a fitness store or a shoe running store, because they'll actually have a person there who can help analyze your unique foot, your unique running style, and what kind of shoe will best support and help correct any imperfections in your running so that you can be able to have a really good experience while running.
Another one that is really, really helpful with running is intermingling it with weightlifting in between. So not all cardio and not all weightlifting. I think putting them together, having a little bit of both, is the best optimal way to get your body healthy. Doing squats and lunges and stuff like that for your legs while weightlifting is really, really good. So sometimes just having a little bit extra weight and then going down, doing some, I think this is lunges. So giving your body a little bit extra weight while doing these normal exercises is going to help a lot. When I first started running, I was following Michael, and he runs 5 times faster than me. I am super, super slow. So I think one of the things that's really important is to find your own pace and to not feel guilty about it. In high school, I ran a mile and I died, and it was a 12-minute mile, and I was like the last kid to get there. Everybody else finished before me, and I was like going as fast as I could. Well, now that I have started running, I realize my normal pace is probably like a 13-minute mile, and that's where I feel my best. So to not feel guilty, I think it's really important to not feel guilty about your pace that is right for you, and that way you can still enjoy running. If you're comparing yourself all the time with other people that are way faster than you, thinking I'm running wrong because you're not going as fast as them, then you're not gonna enjoy running, and it's gonna hurt your body a lot because you're gonna try to go as fast as them, which probably your body's not ready for. So over time though, you do get quicker, but to expect that from the beginning is not very realistic. Okay, Michael's getting ready to run on the treadmill, but I just wanted to point out that I like running on the treadmill more than I like running outside, especially as I'm working up to running outside, because outside has terrain that goes up and down and up and down, and I'm not always prepared for that. So sometimes I like to just run on the treadmill and not even think about it. It helps me to work up to running outside.
So there's a big difference from running on a treadmill versus running out on like the road. So if you're training for a 5K and you've only ever run on a treadmill, and then you show up the day of the race and you're out there running on the road, you're gonna feel it. So make sure that you get both, and you're not only training on one, especially not only training on a treadmill, because you're definitely gonna feel a difference. When I'm running on the treadmill, the road is kind of moving underneath me automatically. I'm just trying not to fall on my face. But when you're running out in the street, you actually have to be pushing your body forward. There's a big difference there. So make sure you at least run outside sometimes. The next really, really important thing to know is how to breathe right. One way that's really good is to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you're breathing too fast and you feel like you're not getting enough oxygen, then you probably just need to slow down a little bit. If you feel like it's too easy and you're not getting a good workout, then try speeding up a little bit. You're probably ready for that. Another good rule of thumb to try to follow that I've been doing that helps me a lot is to breathe on every 3rd footstep. So if I'm running like this, 1, 2, breathe. Breathe, 1, 2, breathe, 1, 2, breathe. That ensures that I'm breathing at a good pace, not too fast, but I'm getting enough oxygen to support a good run.
So if you don't have a MyZone and you're wondering, well, when is it that I'm getting into the red? When am I running too much, too fast? It's when you feel like you're gonna hyperventilate or you're breathing like this because you're breathing so much. That will make your heart rate go up. That's when you're in the red. So if you don't have a MyZone, that's a really good rule of thumb. Don't let yourself get to that point. When I'm running at my best pace with my best breathing and I'm in the green and staying really at a good pace, my heart rate's not going too high. Usually I'm breathing like this. But if I'm running too fast, it's I feel like I'm gonna die. Something that's super important with running is making small achievable goals. So something that I've decided to do is actually make a board where I get to put a sticker on the board for every mile that I run. And then on the top of the board, I have a goal of the day that I want to hit that by. So this is a crazy goal. For me, this is like pushing it, but I know that I can do it. And it's run 100 miles. And I put at the end of it by January 2020. Well, I've been set back a little bit because I'm still healing from the baby. So I might not hit it by January 2020, but I know that I will eventually hit that goal. So I'm not gonna make myself feel bad if I don't hit it by that time that I originally said. But even just the idea that I get to put a sticker that's a diamond on a board for every single mile that I run gets me excited and makes me want to just keep going and keep striving for that goal. And I know eventually I'll hit that, but I'll probably be super fit and really happy way before I hit 100 miles. So I'm really excited about that goal for me. But for you, if you're just barely getting started, it might still be fun to kind of track how many miles you run with a board, kind of with a sticker, whatever you want. Make it fun for you and exciting for you. But also just make it really achievable. So something that you know for sure you will be able to do. Maybe it's running 5 miles over a month. Who knows? But start with something that is right for you from where you're at right now.
Something that I do a lot is I get really excited about a new training experience and a new exercise, and I want to be like really, really strong, but I want to be strong like right now. Or I want to work really, really hard for a week and see like incredible success or changes, and that's just not very realistic, and it's probably not healthy for you either. So what is important to remember, and this is the next tip, is make sure that you give yourself time to train, time to grow, time to improve, because this is a lifelong journey of being fit, being healthy, being in the best shape of your life. And so just remember, this is long term. You're not trying to see overnight success by running 100 miles out of the blue. Like, really recognize that this is a long process. It takes a lot of time, and don't try to do too much too quickly. So enjoy the journey and realize that this is a lifestyle change for the rest of your life, to be fit and to be healthier.
And adding on to what Michael just said, I took 2 months of just weightlifting, and then I made a goal. So I was doing really good weightlifting, and then I made a goal to run the Ragnar in Utah with a whole bunch of different YouTubers. And when I made that goal, I was so scared because it was the first real race I had ever run. So I trained for a whole nother 2 months. So 2 months of weightlifting and then 2 months of running. And that was like trying to run a mile a day or trying to run 5 miles in a week or something like that. And I was pretty consistent with it, but it still took me 2 months to be ready to run the Ragnar, which isn't very, I think my most I ran was like 6 miles or something. So that's just a good example of what it might take for you if you are a slow runner like me to get prepared for a race.
The next tip, we're close to the end, you guys. This next tip is a deal breaker for me. When it comes to running or any type of like cardio exercise, for me, I feel like I have to be wearing something that I'm comfortable working out in. A lot of people might prefer different things. I've seen people run in sweatpants, you know, Rocky, we watched that. And he's like, got these big pants on, but it's like freezing cold outside. So you gotta wear what's right for you. Some people like really short shorts, and that's fine if that's what you like. I prefer tights. Tight tights. Because I find it very comfortable. There's no like wind drag when I'm running. They're not flopping around. There's no chafing, right, in between my legs.
Chafing or chafing?
It's chafing.
Chafing.
There's no chafing in between my thighs as they're rubbing when I'm running, so I don't get any chafing, which means I'm not gonna have sores and I don't have to have that recovery to deal with as well as sore muscles. But I just feel really comfortable in them, and if I run in shorts, then I feel like the wind kind of blows, and that flapping feeling is very uncomfortable for me when I'm trying to run. I like to be like smooth and aerodynamic, and so that's why I wear what I wear. But you got to find out what's right for you. So try a few different things, see what feels good, see what works for you, and then do that.
When you exercise and you're pushing your body really hard, what it's doing to your muscles is it's basically ripping your muscles apart. And I don't know, it's ripping them apart. And so it takes time to heal, and that's why you get really sore muscles, and that's why it's important to drink water and do all these things that we're telling you to do. Also, if you have adrenal fatigue or any actual health issues that you don't know how to deal with, that's where you need to start looking at vitamins, and you need to start looking at Glutamine and stuff like that, which is what I've been taking. So I think that is a good leeway into the next one, which is vitamins. And I take a lot of vitamins. Through trial and error, I found perfect vitamins and superfoods for me to make up for my lack of energy, and now I have plenty, because look, I have to film videos, I have to take care of 5 kids, I have to take care of a newborn, and I'm trying to work out, and that's a lot for anybody, but especially for me when I have a very low amount of energy. So all of these things that I take make up for the amount of energy that I was lacking. Now I have plenty of energy. And if you're interested in finding out exactly what they are, I don't want to get into it now, but if you guys want to know exactly what they are, message mikeandbeccabeach@gmail.com, and I will make sure to message you back and tell you more about the products that I take. But seriously, these make me a super mom. It really does. So if you are lacking in energy, it makes a huge, 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 huge difference. Trust me on this. It has made all the difference for me.
And the very last thing, the best thing, we saved it for last, is actually not a tip, but something really amazing that happens when you run, and until you've done it, you don't realize how great it is. Maybe it is a tip, because to know about it, maybe it would be a good incentive.
Motivating, yeah.
And that's the runner's high.
I used to believe that it was a lie. That people would say, I love running. I get a runner's high. It makes me happy. And I was like, liar.
Liar, that is not true. It makes me feel like crap to run.
Yeah.
But when you follow these tips, when you follow all these things, and you're doing all the best things that you can to make sure you have a good running experience, you will feel
so good.
So good. And it's actually a chemical thing. When you run, it releases endorphins into your mind that make you feel happy.
Yes,
that
endorphins make you happy. And when you exercising, it's interesting, because I actually, before I started running, I would go to the gym and it would make me feel happy. I started running, and I mean, once I really got into the hang of running, and I started feeling a runner's high. It is different than just exercising. It makes you happier than just exercising. In my mind, it like motivates me, and I crave it.
I do too. When I'm in a good running habit and I'm feeling that high regularly, and I'm not running for a day or two, and I see someone running on the side of the road, I'm jealous. I want to get out and run, because it might be a hard workout. Yes, it's physically difficult, but when you're done, you feel so good.
It's rewarding.
And it's like no feeling you've ever felt before. So get out there and run, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Get Fit with me and hearing our top 15 tips and tricks to make your running experience a lot better. Thank you guys for your support. We love you very much.
And I hope that if you hate running, you will start to try these things. Honestly, I believe anybody can run if they use these tips and tricks. Make sure, I think the only thing that I would add to everything we've already said is, if you have health problems and you really, really want to learn how to run, but you just aren't sure if you can, talk to your doctor, or even talk to a holistic doctor that can help you get supplements and vitamins that will give your body the energy that it needs in order to keep going and to exert the extra energy that is needed for running, so that you can try.
It's worth it.
It's so worth it.
And you are worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the energy. Get fit. for the rest of your life and get fit with me.
And we're making progress. It's so exciting.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.